Okay, good. All right. So thanks everyone for being here. Sorry, we're a little late. We had some technical difficulties, but we're getting it all together. And I'm learning a new way of presenting, so just bear with me. So we're going to be talking about mastering LinkedIn for your job search. And I think LinkedIn's really important. It's something that I've been using for a really long time. And then I know I've got a couple people on here that are looking for jobs. So hopefully this is going to help them in their job search. So let's get started. So welcome to our workshop. This is going to let you know what I'm going to be covering. So it's a lot of information in this workshop. I'm going to be covering how to create a profile, the about section, how to list your job titles and job descriptions, how to highlight your skills and achievements, how to ask for recommendations and give recommendations, where to put your education, your licenses, your certification, how to build a network, job searches, and best practices. So these are all of the things we're going to cover in this workshop. And so as we go through each section, I've got screenshots of my own LinkedIn profile that I'm going to share with you, but then also I'm going to pull up mine if you have any questions about how to create some job searches. So about me, my name is Rochon Baker. I'm the owner of A New Life Consulting. We're a career coaching and consulting firm. I have more than 20 years of recruitment and career coaching experience. I am a certified career coach through the John Maxwell Leadership Program. I have been using LinkedIn since 2007, and I've used it a lot. As an executive recruiter, it's easier to find candidates through LinkedIn because there's so many ways of searching than it is for waiting for the candidates to apply, because it would always seem that the candidates who apply didn't quite meet the job qualifications. I have been successful in creating a target company list, and I was successful in getting hired I created this list of companies that I wanted to work with, and I got a job with both the #1 and the #2 company on my list at different times, but I was hired by both of those companies. So that's something that I've taught my clients to do. And then I've successfully changed careers and industries. I've gone from or staffing recruitment to corporate recruiting. And I made a conscious effort to break into healthcare recruiting because I knew it was lucrative and I knew that it was economy safe, that if the economy was going up and down. And I started out in staffing industry and light industrial, which is like warehouse. So I've been able to do that on my own. I still recruit specialty healthcare and leadership positions for 2 of my former clients. And I have used I've used LinkedIn as a job seeker and as a recruiter. So if you're looking for help, I can help you reach your goals. So the benefits of using LinkedIn. This is really important because I don't think a lot of us understand or even know this information, but LinkedIn was created in 2003. And I can't remember the guy's name that created it, but I have connected with him and he's got like over 200,000 connects on LinkedIn. It was acquired by Microsoft in 2016, but he really was trying to create a platform where professionals can network with each other. They've got 940 million members, so they're close to that 1 billion mark. 117 job applications are submitted through LinkedIn every second. There are 52 million people using LinkedIn to search for jobs on a weekly basis. 8 people are hired through LinkedIn every minute. 58 million companies are on LinkedIn, and 94% of recruiters use LinkedIn to vet their candidates. That's really important because LinkedIn is a powerful search engine. And when candidates are looking for a job, I don't think they realize that us as recruiters are going to look at their LinkedIn, especially me as an executive. If you're looking for any type of leadership position, and it's outside of government doesn't use it as much, but in the private sector, they do. And if you're in that position and you're looking for a job, the recruiter or the hiring manager is going to look at your LinkedIn to see if it matches your job description, what you're saying you did, and if it's up to date and if you're networking. All right, so here is my profile here, and I wanted to go over each section on the profile. Okay, so my name information is here. This is my job title, so you make sure that your job title is in here, correct? These are the things that I talk about. Now you get to choose these things when you're putting it on your profile. Where I live, my contact information, one suggestion. put your email in this information. As a recruiter, it is so difficult to reach out to candidates. And if I find them on LinkedIn and I don't have any contact information, so you're looking for a job on LinkedIn, you want someone to reach out to you, but your contact information is not there. So now I have to send you a message through LinkedIn. And what if you only check it once a week? If your email is there, then you are only going to get contacted by someone who wants to reach out and talk to you. For me, my phone number is there. And it's very rare that someone picks up the phone and calls me. But my work phone number is in LinkedIn, and it has been for years. I've always had my work phone number, and I've always had my work email, because that's the way people are going to reach me. Now, I've got 6,332 followers and over 500 connections. This is an important part too in LinkedIn too. Followers are people who just choose to follow you, but connections are where it's happening. And if you have less than 500 connections, it's going to say you only have 123. If you have more than 500, I have over 6,000, it just says over 500. So that means as a recruiter, when I'm looking at how many connections you have, that tells me whether you're interacting with people and networking. I was having a conversation with my husband, and he was asking me, how do you choose who do you connect with? And I said, I don't choose. I connect with just about anybody, unless they're from a foreign country and I think they're kind of sketchy. If someone wants to connect with me, I say yes to everyone, because what does it hurt to connect? Because the more power, it's power in the connections. The more people you're connected to, the more you have connections to those people. And I'm going to show you how that works in a minute. If you're open to looking for a new job, if you don't have a job now and you're open to looking for a new job, you click on this part here and it'll tell you I'm open to looking for a new job, or I'm hiring. These are the things that you're open to. And if you want to add a profile section, and there's a little bit about more, the company that you're working for currently, and your education. Make sure you put your schooling here, because that's going to show up. So these are the things that are really important to have in your profile. This right here is considered a banner. I created my own in Canva. You can do the same thing, or you can use one of their generic ones, but this is just a banner that I created for my company. Okay. If you guys have questions, go ahead and you can either raise your hand or let me know you've got questions, but I'm also gonna have a time to answer questions at the end. All right. Your profile is the only platform you're going to use to connect with people in your industry. It's going to help you showcase your skills and your achievement. So LinkedIn, like I said, is the largest professional networking platform. Making sure that you have a strong profile increases your visibility to potential employers. You can research companies, you can research job descriptions, you can research roles, you can connect with current and former employees. You can learn about different company cultures, you can find job duties. There's so many ways of using LinkedIn to search that you can find any information on any organization that you're looking for. You can even see, if you apply for a job on LinkedIn, you can see who the person is that's doing the hiring, and you can connect with that hiring manager on LinkedIn. So make sure you use it to your benefit. It's a great way to establish your professional brand, especially if you're looking for a leadership position. You can showcase your personality and expertise, and that's going to help you attract potential employers and job opportunities. There's something called the hidden job market. And one of the ways of using LinkedIn is to be able to navigate that hidden job market, because I come across employers or hiring managers who are hiring for positions and they never post that position. And the only way to find it is being connected to that person. And they will say, I'm looking for this type of person. And then if you have friends that know you're looking and you meet those qualifications, your friends can connect you. All right, here's my about section. And this is where you really use your about section to create and to tell a story about yourself. This is how you introduce yourself to others. So this is mine, and it tells, you know, the story about me. I have over 20 years in recruiting, 7 years as an executive recruiter. I have an understanding of employment landscape. So it goes through and tells a little bit about me. So you're going to tell your story and introduce yourself. When you're creating your about page, you're going to use your first person language, because this is like you're talking to someone else. You're going to use this section to highlight your strengths, experiences, and accomplishments. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. All right. Sorry, I've just had to add some people. Like I said, you're going to use the first person language. You're going to use this to highlight your strengths, your experiences, and your accomplishments. Make sure in this about section you use keywords and industry specific terms to help employers find you. And you're going to tailor your about section to your job or the industry that you're targeting. So be creative in this section. This is completely different than your summary or your profile that's on your resume. This is really telling a story about who you are. And a lot of employers read this as well as recruiters. We read it because it gives us an idea of who you're talking about, yourself. You want to make sure you start with a compelling opening that captures the attention of the reader. You don't want it to be too long. Like on mine, I have 3 short paragraphs. You want to highlight your unique value and what sets you apart from other candidates. And you also want to talk about your strengths, your experiences, and your accomplishments and how they align with your career goals. Okay. Next, let's talk about how your job and your job titles are listed in your LinkedIn profile. So make sure that you're concise and you use industry-specific keywords to make your profile more discoverable in search results. So in a little while, I said I was going to tell you about searching. All of your LinkedIn profile, your whole LinkedIn page is searchable. And so if you've got keywords in there that say I'm looking for a registered nurse with ICU experience. Well, in their job title, they might just have registered nurse, but in their job description, they have ICU. That's going to come up in my search. And when I show you how easy it is to search and the numbers that you get when you're searching people, you're going to be amazed at, wow, I didn't realize that it brings people into the spotlight that way. So make sure you use your current job title as your headline, include a brief summary of your role and responsibilities. Make sure it's easily read, so use bullet points to highlight your achievements. Quantify your achievements when possible. So instead of saying manage social media campaign, say you manage a social media campaign that increased engagement by 50%. Make sure you're using action verbs to describe your responsibilities, what you've created, what you've developed. Make sure you're using quantifiable numbers. Don't use buzzwords and jargon that's specific to your company or industry. I used to work for an organization, HCA, and I believe they have more acronyms than any other company. And what's so hard as a recruiter is when I'm reading someone's resume and they give me acronyms of things that they did in their job, and I have no idea what those acronyms mean. So spell those words out. If that person doesn't work for your company, they don't know what you're saying when you're listing those acronyms. You know, your colleagues know, but a recruiter is not going to know that, and your employers are not going to use that. So make sure you leave those out of your resume and both your LinkedIn profile. Make sure you're honest and accurate in your job title and your job description, because you don't want to overstate your experience. I'll never forget, just recently, the organization I work for with my colleague Gracie, we had a candidate who overstated what she could do. And the client called within a couple of weeks after her starting saying she doesn't know how to do this, but she had it on her resume and she had it on her job description. And it was one of the things that was very important to them. And, you know, she ended up losing her job because she overstated her experience. So make sure you're very honest in what you're listing. Okay, skills. This is really big because this is another area that LinkedIn uses to search your skills. So you get a chance to choose your skills. And I think it's about 15 that you can choose. I tried to look for the number today, but you put in your skills and the things that you're good at. And I only showed you just the first page of my list, and we'll take a look at it later. But then this also gives you a way for others to endorse you. So if people know that you're good at this and they see your LinkedIn profile, they'll go in and they'll start endorsing you, and you show where you've used your skills and what company. So career path planning, 8 other companies I've used this. I've got 10 experiences across the current company that I work at and 8 other companies that are in my LinkedIn profile. Remember, I've been using LinkedIn since 2007. So I've got a lot of my former companies that are listed on my LinkedIn profile. So this shows that it has a dedicated place for you to put your skills. You select the most important skills related to the industry or profession and arrange them in order of importance. And this allows connections to endorse you for these skills to further strengthen your profile. All right. Make sure you keep these up to date and review them regularly. So if you get a new skill, you take a course or something, add this to your skills, because all it does is increase your way of being noticed and getting hired. Okay. Recommendations. This is, I know my colleague that's here, Gracie, she loves this part because she's always saying, make sure you get lots of recommendations. So I started reaching out to some of my former colleagues and some of the candidates I've worked with. And so I've been getting quite a few the last week or so. And so this is a place that people that you've worked with, either they've managed you in a former position, they've worked alongside you, this is their way of recommending you for the job. So this person here is someone that I placed on a position recently. This is a former director that I worked with that I still keep in touch with. This person here actually went above and beyond and wrote me a full page recommendation letter. And she was like, if anyone wants to know anything about you, please have them call me because I'll tell them all about you. Now, this is someone that I worked with and trying to help her get a job, and she didn't get the job that I submitted her for, but she's a former colleague. I used to recruit for her. So she and I have developed a relationship. She's an executive in the hospital world. And so we still keep in touch. She still reaches out to me about different positions. And she's like, she's the one that's going to go, she's going to go the extra mile to help me get whatever I need. So make sure you use your friends, your people that you've worked with, get recommendations. And all you have to do is ask for a recommendation. You consider and think about who would be the best person to ask. It can be a former manager, a former colleague, someone who can speak to your skills and your work ethic. What you do is you just send them a personalized message. It's really simple. You go in, you click on the plus, you go in and you ask, could you please send me, or could you please recommend me? And they will. And it's very easy. So it's not something you have to do. And then if someone asks you for the same thing, make sure you do that. If someone asks for a recommendation, go above and beyond. And when they ask, say, okay, I'll give you one. Can you give me one too? All right. Once you receive the recommendation, make sure you reach out and you thank them, because what happens is once you get that recommendation through LinkedIn, LinkedIn's going to notify you that so-and-so recommended you. And then you've got the ability to go right in and say, thank you so much for recommending me. It was, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I like that. So make sure you do that. All right. So these are the other things that you need to list on LinkedIn. Make sure all of your education is current. If you're currently in school, you can list your anticipated graduation date, list all your professional licenses and list the organization that the license is from and all your professional certifications. Make sure that if you have a license or a certification that's expired, take that off your LinkedIn because it's not appropriate anymore. And then if you do renew that license, go ahead and add it again. So LinkedIn gives you this opportunity to put that there. This is one of the things that I enjoy the most on LinkedIn is networking. You have the ability to connect with people former colleagues, classmates, friends. It'll help you build a foundation for your network and establish credibility. So I connect with a lot of people. I'm on LinkedIn on a daily basis, and I'm always talking to people or connecting with people, finding people that I used to work with, finding out what's going on with them. I just found out recently that 2 of my former coworkers from like 10 years ago got laid off their jobs. So I'm thinking, okay, how can I assist them in finding another job? They're both recruiters. These are things that you find out when you're connected with people. I've even connected with people from the college that I graduated from, because, if you see someone that's looking for a job and they came from the same college, I've had a lot of people from my college reach out to me and say, hey, I'm trying to get in this company. Can you help me? And that's always a way to connect too. Use the search and suggestion features to find and connect with professionals in your industry. Look for people with similar interests and career goals. Now, when you're looking for people in your profession, you can search and connect with people. I have a lot of recruiters that I'm connected with because LinkedIn will start to feed people that fit into your profile. But then I'm also connected with a lot of coaches, career coaches, because that's what I do. So those are 2 things. But then I've got lots of nurses. And today I was looking at a search and I said, let me see how many CEOs I have. And I think I had like I don't remember, 2,000 maybe CEOs that I'm connected with. So you don't have to know the person you connect with. Your reason for connecting is all business. It's nothing personal. They're not going to call you. They're not going to reach out to you. This is all professional, and it's a way of networking. You know, back in the olden days, back years ago, we used to connect with Chamber of Commerce and things like that. People just don't do that anymore. So LinkedIn is our way of connecting with people. So the more connections you have, the more opportunities you have to get noticed, because you get a chance to connect with the people that you know and then connect with the people that they know. Okay. Also, you can join LinkedIn groups that are related to your industry or interest. I'm in a lot of nursing groups because I used to recruit for nurses. So I used to recruit for infection preventionists on the hospital level. And so I'm in a infection preventionist group. That's how I would find my candidates. You being in a group like that gives you the opportunity to maneuver through that hidden job market I was talking about before, because someone in that group might say, hey, I'm searching for this. Hey, I'm looking for this person. And if you're not in that group, you're not going to find out, because everyone is not putting their jobs online. I was reading something the other day and they said for every job that's posted, there are like 250, 300 applicants. So it's hard for them to maneuver through those people. As a recruiter, I know this. I would say more than 50% of the people who apply for jobs don't meet the qualifications. And so as a recruiter, I've got to weed through the people who don't meet the qualifications. And I have to find out, how am I going to find the right person to fit this job? And sometimes it's easier just asking a question. Does anybody know of this? Do you know anyone that does that? And that happens in those groups. I have filled a lot of positions with quality and risk within the hospital system. And the way that I've done that is through groups. I'm in a quality and risk group, and I can put a position in there and I can find people who are looking. If I put a position in there, I might get a notification from someone saying, my friend's looking, I'll forward your information. And I would say, forward my information. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. No one hardly ever calls me. It's very rare someone calls me. But I do get connections saying, hey, here's my resume. Can we have a conversation? And I always do reach out to that person and have a conversation with them, even if I can't help them, because it doesn't hurt to be kind and nice to someone and help them, because in turn, someone might do the same for me. Make sure you engage regularly by commenting on posts, sharing content, sending messages. It helps you build strong relationships and stay top of mind with potential employers. And always work towards having more than 500 connections, so that'll show up on your profile. All right, so let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn searches. You can search LinkedIn for jobs, certification and skills. You can search for people. You can find hiring leaders. You can search companies, and you can search groups. So this is where, and let's hope this works right. This is where I said I was gonna show you my LinkedIn profile, and I'll show you how powerful the search engine is. Hold on, here we go. I think it's here. So I'm gonna have to reshare somewhere else. All right, let me do this. I'm gonna stop my share, and then I'm going to reshare a different screen because I've got two screens here. And then, did I do this right? No. Hold on, there we go. Can you, which screen do you, oh, still not the right one. Hold on. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing the right screen. Can someone tell me which screen you're seeing?
I think it's the LinkedIn.
You
I'm
can see
not
the
sure if
LinkedIn
it's
one?
live.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, perfect. All right, so this is my LinkedIn page. So just wanted to show you how searching works. So I did this earlier. So registered nurse. I'm looking for a registered nurse. So if I just put in registered nurse, this is the page that's going to come up. But I'm really looking for people who are registered nurse. I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking for people. So in my search, there are 3,140,000 registered nurses. Now, these are not people that are connected with. If I go to connections and I go to my first level of connection, this shows me 1,000 people. I am personally connected with 1,000 nurses. Okay, but if I want to connect with the people on your second level, these are people that are connected to your first level people. So I get rid of my first level and I go to my second level. Well, these are people who know people that I know. 105,000 people. That just shows you how broad that is. And these are people that I can connect with if I'm looking for a position. So if you're looking for a job, hospital administrator, I'm just choosing one. So now you're looking for a job that has hospital administrator in it. 28,000 hospital administrator jobs. And now you can sort by level. You can sort by salary. You can sort by company, on-site or remote, which ones are easy to apply, or all the filters. The date it was posted in the last month, 29,000 in the last month. And then you sort them down. You also have the ability, hold on, this is in my way so I can't see, to sort location. So let's say Florida. 2,000 hospital administrator jobs in Florida. So there's so many ways of searching LinkedIn. You can search, let's see, I'm gonna think of. CPHQ is a certification that I've used before, and I'm looking for people who have the certification. It's quality. It's a quality and risk certification for a hospital. And this is how recruiters use this. So think about this when you're creating your LinkedIn profile. So if I'm looking for someone that has a CPHQ, I just found 4,400 people just by putting in, and you see that here. It's all here. Now here's someone it's not listed in his profile. So that means it's got to be listed somewhere on his page. There it is. It is in his profile. And this is how recruiters use it to find people. Now just think, if I'm a recruiter and I'm looking for someone that has that qualification and they don't have anything but their name and their information, but they're looking for a job and they don't have any of this filled out, I don't know anything about them, I don't know their experience, a recruiter is never going to find you. Even if you apply for a job and you don't have this information and you apply for a job through LinkedIn, the recruiter is going to think, well, they applied for a job through LinkedIn, how come they haven't created their profile? And I've talked to recruiters that says, well, if their LinkedIn profile is not completed, I pass on that conversation. I just had that conversation with one of my colleagues, it's either yesterday or today, and she said, if their LinkedIn profile is not complete, I pass. So if you're looking for a job, LinkedIn is powerful to help you get the type of job you want. You can sort just about anything. You can even sort, what was one other thing? Let me go back here. A post about this certification. And so this is one of my former colleagues, and it's telling all about, what people are looking for. It's another former colleague that comes up. So these are people that have this in their posts, or they have this somewhere on their page, and it brings up all the information about them. One other thing I want to show you. Go back to registered nurse. And now you're looking for a job. And this happens, let's see if it's on this one. It's not on this one. Sometimes, some companies, if the company didn't post it and the recruiter posted it, and this might not happen in nursing because a lot of hospitals are doing the posting. If it's a smaller company, sometimes the person who posted that, their name is there. And you can connect with that person. Most of these are hospitals. But still, if you want to find someone that worked for Spectrum Vision Partners, you want to find someone that worked for this company because you're thinking about getting a job with this company. I just went to the company page. And I can go to people. And now I can see how many people that work for this company are on LinkedIn. And I can connect with them and ask them questions about where they work. Oh, there's other ways of finding information, but I just wanted you guys to see how powerful this is. So let me go back to my presentation. I'm going to share my screen again, make sure I share the right screen. This one, this way, and then where do I share my screen? Hold on. Technical difficulties again. Here we go. Share screen. I'm going to go back to this one. There we go. All right. So that shows you how powerful the LinkedIn search is. So you can search jobs, certification skills, hiring leaders, companies, and groups. That's the one thing I forgot to show you, but there is a way to search groups in the same thing and groups that you might have an interest in. And you can search by name, industry. So that's powerful. All right, just some best practices for LinkedIn. Make sure you engage regularly. If you're going to use LinkedIn for your job search, make sure you engage regularly with people, you know, comment on their posts. You read an article, I'm constantly reading articles from former colleagues like, oh my gosh, that was really good. I know my colleague Gracie here, she's really good about posting every day and she posts really uplifting and motivational tips. So I'm always posting on that. And then this helps you stay top of mind with employers. And if you need help with something, don't be afraid to ask for help or ask for introductions from your network. You know, if you're looking for a job, you can tell, you know, someone that's in your network, hey, I'm looking for this position. If you know of anyone, let me know. That might get you your foot in the door. You can find job opportunities. You can maneuver through that hidden job market. That hidden job market is really big right now. I'm hearing a lot of chatter about that hidden job market. And I've seen several positions that former colleagues have posted, hey, I'm looking for this person if you know of anyone. And that job's not posted anywhere. So that's the only way that you're going to find out about this is to really use LinkedIn to your advantage. And then you can do your research. I tell all my clients, when you're going on an interview, you want to know something about that company. So do your research about that company. Start with LinkedIn. There's Glassdoor, there's other organizations, but start with LinkedIn and see what people are saying about that company because you're going to find that out. Go to someone that used to work there that maybe you're connected through the college that you went to. And say, hey, I see you used to work for so-and-so. Can you tell me what it was like working for them? They will respond. People will respond. And so they want to help you out. Make sure when you fill out job applications, you can tailor your job application to match the hiring person's interest. You'll know a little bit about them if you look them up. I always tell my candidates, look that person up on LinkedIn, connect with them on LinkedIn. When I have conversations with people that I've interviewed, I connect with them. They call me, they'll send messages to me. I had a candidate call today. I spoke with her probably 2 or 3 months ago and she had a question. She picked up the phone, she called me, but we're connected on LinkedIn too. So when I, reach out to a candidate, even if I don't help them, it was somebody that I didn't help, but she valued my opinion and she reached out and said, hey, this is what's going on. Can you help me? So make sure you do the same for other people. All right. This is how I've used LinkedIn as a recruiter. I've used it for candidate searches. I search by job title, certification, license, job duties, and different companies. As a job seeker, I search for jobs by title, by company, and by salary. I've researched company. I have found people who are hiring, and I've been able to tap into that hidden job market. And then for research, I want to find out what are the trends in the organizations or what I'm recruiting for, especially when it came to things like infection prevention, quality and risk, case management. I want to know what's going on because I want to be looked at as the subject matter expert when it comes to recruiting for those positions. So I kind of have a feel for what's going on. So people will come to me, or when I'm talking to a candidate, you know, if there's a new certification that's real popular, I know what's going on. And I've done that research by using LinkedIn. I don't have to go to many other places besides LinkedIn. And then I find out trends, what's happening in the groups that I'm a part of. Like I said, I'm in a nursing group. I'm in an infection preventionist group. I'm in a quality and risk group. I know what the trends that are going on to make sure that I stay top of mind as a recruiter. And you can do the same thing on your job search. And then you'll find events. There's a lot of events that go on LinkedIn and people are posting those things. One of the ways that I did research is I use LinkedIn when I was my last year of school and I was doing my last final project. And I was working for a local hospital system here. And the project was to find a company that was on the stock market and that was publicly traded and to do research on that company. And it just so happened I did the research on HCA. And then I had to find a competitor of that company. So I did the research and I found out a lot about HCA, but most of my research, who the top people were, all of that I found on LinkedIn. And then I used that and I went someplace else. So when I got my job at HCA, I targeted that company. I wanted to work for that company. I found out so much about that company. So I started targeting that company and I connected with the person who was in charge of hiring. And I connected with her and then I would send messages to her. She sent messages to me. I ended up getting hired by that company. Now, the number 2 company on my list, because I did have, when I was looking for a job after I got out of school and I was like, okay, I've got my bachelor's degree. Let me create this target list. And number 1 was HCA. And number 2 on my list was Tenet. After I left HCA, excuse me. After I left HCA, my next job was with Tenet. If I wouldn't have created that target job position, the target job or the target company that I wanted, and done the research and connected with the people on LinkedIn, I connected with the same people at Tenet. And so when I was referred, because I reached out to my market, hey, I'm looking to leave HCA. I really want to work for Tenet. Let me see who I know that works for Tenet. I knew someone that worked for Tenet. I connected with her boss on LinkedIn. We talked on LinkedIn and she invited me for an interview. But if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have gotten the job. My number 1 and my number 2. So I did all of that on LinkedIn. So it's just about connecting with the right people, doing the research, finding what you want. And those are some of the things that I teach my clients to do. So we're almost done. Want to know, does anyone have any questions? Because I know I've gone over a lot of material. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? I'm looking, let me see if there's any questions in the chat. There's one. Oh, okay, see your profile. Any questions at all? Any comments? Anyone have any comments?
What do people do when they've worked for the same organization for like 30 years and, maybe they're just advancing in terms of scope within the company? I mean, they're not hopping around to add multiple companies to their profiles. What is that? How does that look to a recruiter when they're searching for candidates?
It looks good because if you've moved up within the ranks and you've moved and you've advanced your career, it looks good. So then what you do is when you connect with people, you connect with people outside of your organization. So if you have an idea of what you want to do next, then those are the people that you connect with. And if you don't, just connect with anybody. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, I connect with anyone. If someone wants to connect with me, I open my LinkedIn every day and I'm like, oh, 3 people want to connect with me. I'm yes, accept. It's very rare that I say no. The only people that I say no to are the people from foreign countries and they look sketchy and I'm like, what do they want from me? But anyone in the US, I connect. College students, I connect. But it looks really good on your LinkedIn If you've worked for the same organization and you've changed positions, but you're with the same organization, it looks good. Because a recruiter is going to say, wow, this person has tenure. Gracie and I have a couple of clients that are looking for people that are not job hoppers, and they are sticklers on this person has to have worked for the same organization for this amount of time. That's really rare to find in these days. Very rare, because most people change jobs every 2 to 3 years. So that looks good. Just connect with everyone else and try and get as many connections as you can. And even within your organization, different divisions of your organization, even if you don't know the people. I've got 6,000 connections. I don't know those people, but I'm connected to them. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Hi, Rashawn, it's Mitchell.
Hi.
In terms of, I have to say that I've always been on the fence. I don't have that many connections because I was always on the fence of connecting with people. I don't know you, I'm not gonna accept. So maybe you're kind of, changing my mind about that. That's something I'm gonna look into. And of course, I have to really start looking into my LinkedIn profile and really start learning how to use it, better to my advantage, basically.
Yeah.
So thanks again. This is a big eye opener.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what? LinkedIn is not like Facebook and Instagram or any of that. Like I said, my phone number is on my LinkedIn. I don't know if anyone's ever picked up the phone and called me and said, I got your phone number off of LinkedIn. And it's always been there. As a recruiter, my phone number has always been there. Now, I have gotten emails from people, but I get more messages on LinkedIn through LinkedIn than I get emails, just random emails, because they're going to connect with me. But you've got to use it as a recruiter. You've got to use it to be front and center and figure out what's going on. But especially if you want to move around within the business, it really is just a networking tool, nothing else. Just networking. And I've never had any weird people connect with me or anything. And I've been using it since 2007. Never, not one time. And all those years, my phone number's been there. Every company I go to, I change it. I put my phone number there. I put my email. But most of the time they connect with me, it's through LinkedIn. Even if they want to send me their resume, it's through LinkedIn. I get resumes through LinkedIn all the time. I had a young girl connect with me. From Africa because she wanted help. And then I had another young girl connect with me and say, can you review my resume? Because I'm not getting any responses. And can you tell me why? And I looked at her resume and I was able to say, hey, this is what's wrong. We had a 15-minute conversation. This is what's wrong with your resume. She redid her resume and sent it to me. And now she's looking for a job. And hopefully she'll find something. But I always get people just send me their resume. What do you think about this? Can you help with that? I always help them. Any other questions or comments?
Roshan, I have a question. Can you talk about LinkedIn regular versus LinkedIn premium? And with the premium, they offer a lot of courses. Do recruiters think those courses are helpful or are they fluff? Like if somebody doesn't have certifications, like what do you do? I mean,
so I don't feel like someone looking for a job really needs LinkedIn premium. I have LinkedIn premium because I'm a recruiter and I need that extra ability to hide what I'm looking for candidates and be able to connect with more people. When it comes to those certifications, the only time that I think those certifications or those classes come in handy is if you're trying to do a career change. Because if you're trying to change careers, if you're staying in the same career, then it's not needed. But if you're looking for a career change and you want to be seen as, I did this for this many years, but now I want to do this, and this is what I've done to make some changes. I always tell my clients that are looking to do a career change, you're either going to have to take some type of class or educate yourself in some kind of way and make sure that that's seen. And that's the only way I feel like it's important. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I have one more question about recommendations.
Sure.
Can you talk a little bit more about what types of people you could ask for recommendations? I mean,
anyone that's worked with you that knows your work history or your work ethic, Or, I mean, I've even had friends that I used to work with years ago, but anyone that's worked with you in any capacity, anyone, whether they will equal to you, above you, or below you, it doesn't matter. If they've worked with you and they've watched how you work, then that's the right person for a recommendation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? All right, we're gonna move on. We're almost finished. Like I said, LinkedIn is the perfect tool to help you find that next job, get promoted, or change careers. Just want to tell you a little bit about how to work with me. I am a career coach. I have a Get Hired program. These are all of the things that I cover in my program: career review, update your resume. I help you create your LinkedIn profile. We'll sit down and do a strategy session on which way we're going to go. I help you create a job search plan. I help you prepare for interviews. If you haven't gotten a job, if you haven't looked for the job in the last 3 to 5 years, everything's changed. There's all kinds of things that are different. So I help you get through this interview preparation. Some companies do behavioral-based interviews, some do star-based interviews. There's all types of interviews. I help you with salary negotiation and how to accept an offer. If you just need a little bit of help, like you've found a job in the last 3 to 5 years and you just need someone to review your resume, help you update your profile, or help you create a job search plan, I'm here. Or if you just want a single session, resume review or career search plan, I'm here to do that too. So these are some of the tools that I use with my clients. I do have resume templates and I will help you sit down and create it, or I will refer you to someone. I've got 2 people that I've worked with that will that do resumes. I'm not good at resumes. I know what a good one looks like, but I have a hard time putting it all together and I get frustrated with the formatting. But I do know what a good one looks like. So I do have people that can help you do that. And I have my own templates that I can send to you and you can update your resume. I have created a LinkedIn guide that's very, it's a deep dive into LinkedIn and how to go by each step and what to do. Personality assessment, I am DISC certified. It's a behavioral assessment. I always advise people who are going through a career change and they don't know what to do, that a personality assessment would help. I've worked with, like I said, DISC, Enneagram, and Strength Finders. I do have a job search tracker. One of the things that's really hard as a recruiter is you pull up a resume, you call the candidate, and you've got to go through and say, hi, I'm Rashawn. I'm calling from Eclipse Recruiting Group. You applied for this job, and they say, what? And you applied for this job. Oh, can you tell me what job it is? And I tell them the job. Oh, I applied. And I always, that to me, this is your first interaction with me. And the first thing I think is, you applied for my job, but you don't even remember you applied for my job. So I tell everyone, you have to have a job search tracker. You have to keep track of the jobs you've applied for. So when someone calls you on the phone, when a recruiter calls and reaches out, you know exactly what they're talking about. Now, you might not have it right there, but you might say, can you hold on a second? Let me check my job search tracker. Let me see what position you're talking about. You have all that information. That gives a great impression to the recruiter or the employer. So I have 2 job search tracker. One is online. There's a great one that I've used online. And then there's also one that I've created on Excel. And then I go through interview methodologies. There are STAR interviews. There's all different types of interviews. And then I help with the salary calculator to help you find what's a fair rate for the position you're applying for and what a comparable rate is if you're looking to relocate to another step or to another state, sorry. And then here's how to find me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, my email address. I think all of you have my email address and my phone number. My phone number is everywhere. So I just want to thank you so much for attending. I'm so happy that you were here. Let me stop sharing. I just want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for each of you that came out. Anyone have any last questions before we stop the presentation? I guess not. So I hope you all have learned something. Thank you so much for attending. And oh, one other thing, I forgot to say this, my next workshop is going to be on June 8th, and it's going to be on how to create a job search plan. So I'll see you then. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Sean.
Bye.